Welcome into Arsenal Report. And Arsenal are looking at Lucienn Agume, who plays for Sevilla, plays as a defensive midfielder, and is looking like a potential Partey replacement. Now, I do believe Thomas Partey will sign a new contract, but it looks like Arsenal and Andrea Berta are putting a little pressure on Partey, saying, if you don't accept our terms of a 1+1 deal and a massive pay cut and a much smaller role in the team, we will go pay the £17 million it'll cost to get Lucienn Agume from Sevilla. Very talented young player who has really found his footing at Sevilla this past year, playing 35 matches in the league for them. He had come from Inter Milan prior to making that move to Sevilla, but Sevilla need the cash. Need the cash. So they're willing to sell for a low price of just around 20 million euros, 17 million pounds to 20 million euros, somewhere in that range. And at 23 years old and finally kind of reaching those levels, he's the kind of player who can come in, play a few matches here and there, get adapted, take his time, and maybe turn into a very strong player down the road, or at least an asset that we're able to and willing to sell. Now, do I think he's above Partey on our priority list? No. I think we'd like to keep Thomas Partey. That appears to be the number one goal in that role, who is basically taking Jorginho's minutes, right? Zubamendi's going to take Thomas Partey's minutes. Jorginho is now gone. Thomas Partey would take Jorginho's minutes. So this is not a player who's going to be asked to play 4,000 minutes. You're looking at probably 1,500 minutes this year for the player in that role. So it's a big opportunity here for Arsenal to, get a very young, talented player for a small fee, and potentially they'll do what Liverpool did with Mamardashvili, which is pay that amount up front if it's still available later in the window, loan him back to Sevilla because they need the cash but need the player, and then bring him in the year after when Thomas Partey's 1-1 deal potentially will be ending. In some positive news, Miles Lewis-Skelly has signed his new contract, long-term deal with Arsenal, hoping to hear that is more than just a 4-year deal, as Chelsea aren't necessarily a team I'd like to model after, but them signing young players to long deals really is a smart move, and I hope that Miles Lewis-Skelly deal is one of those that's amortized over many years instead of just being a classic Arsenal 4-year deal. But as much as we knew Miles Lewis-Skelly was going nowhere, it's nice to get this signed with Real Madrid lurking, loving the player, and approaching his camp and his agent. But Miles Lewis-Skelly is Arsenal through and through. His mom, the one negotiating the deal. And great to see Charles Watts getting an exclusive. Obviously a top journalist who covers Arsenal. And big news to keep Miles Lewis-Skelly. This will be a great season for Miles. It's going to be interesting to see if he features mostly at left back, if he gets that opportunity to play in midfield, and if he just continues to be the first option on the team sheet in those positions. It's a lot of things to come for Miles Lewis-Skelly, and signing a new contract was high up on that list. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a new number this year as well. I think he likes that 49 number, but we'll see where the next step is for him. And following closely behind, of course, is Ethan Nwaneri, who hopefully will be the next man to sign his contract. We got the Gabriel contract done. We got the Miles Lewis-Skelly contract done. Now it's Ethan, then it's Saka, then it's Saliba. That's the order of which it will go. There has been some talk of a little unrest from Ethan and where he's being played. I wouldn't make too much of that. He knows his long-term future is not at right wing. I know he wasn't happy playing right wing. He's a player who likes to be central. But he's going to have to play where he's being asked to play and work hard in that position. I think he's willing to do that. He played for the under-21s for England today, playing in that right wing position, playing hard. And, it's hard to break in as a central player in the Premier League. That is where Ethan's future certainly is, and we expect that contract to be signed prior to the next season starting, but it's one to keep an eye on for sure as his relationship develops with the club and with Mikel Arteta. And lastly, the fixture list has come out, and Arsenal were given statistically, the hardest start to the season. They will go away to Manchester United at Old Trafford. They will then host Leeds United, which is a relatively easy match, although promoted team who still has belief in themselves. Not ideal early on. Then they go to Anfield, away to Liverpool, home to Nottingham Forest, home to Manchester City, away to Newcastle. That opening 6 matches, you got to go get a win at Old Trafford because we're a much better team than Manchester United. You got to beat Leeds. Get a result at Liverpool, beat Nottingham Forest at home, get a result against City, get a result against Newcastle. I mean, you could only be looking at 3 wins in the first 6, and I've seen so much debate about this. Is it good to have a tough starting fixture list? It's better than those being our last 6 fixtures. There's no doubt about that. With fatigue, with these teams getting up and running, whatever, there's no doubt you'd rather have these fixtures at the front, but the fans will turn quickly. If you walk away with only 9 or 10 points in the first 6 matches, That is not going to bode well with your fans, with the atmosphere around the club, with the disappointment of last season. Puts a lot of pressure on us early. The flip side of it is two things. Number one, get these fixtures out of the way. Maybe Liverpool have a little hangover from the win. Manchester United, they bring all these new players in that they're trying to do this summer. They won't be gelled yet. Man City, still kind of coming off a bit of a weird season, also bringing in a bunch of new players. Reinders maybe won't be up to the task yet of taking on a new league, and all of their new signings coming in this summer. For that Liverpool match. Newcastle away, listen, that's going to be really tough no matter what. I don't expect us to win nor get a result there. But you beat Manchester United, you beat either Liverpool or City and get a result against the other. You beat Leeds at home, you beat Forest at home. All right, you're looking at potentially 13 points from your opening 5, maybe 13 or 14 points from your opening 6. That's not that bad. And also, it puts a lot of pressure on Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta to get the summer transfer business done early. These players need to have a preseason because guess what? On August 17th, whether they like it or not, they're going to Old Trafford and they're going to want to get a win and they're going to need to get a win. So an interesting fixture list, but it backloads us in a nice way, right? We end the season home to Fulham, away to West Ham, home to Burnley, away to Crystal Palace. Not a terrible end to the season. If you needed 12 points to win the title and you had those fixtures, you'd feel good about it. Of course, the 2 fixtures before that are away to City and home to Newcastle. So a little bit of everything going on there. It's an exciting fixture list nonetheless. That's Arsenal Report. We're doing daily updates on all the summer transfer window business, things like a fixture list, new contracts, inside scoops, everything you need. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.